and got to share some of our uniqueness. You know, as we're doing it now, actually. You know, Brother Sage got a phenomenal channel on YouTube and a website where he does like podcasts with. Tell them what you do.
I mean, yeah, right now my current mediums are primarily YouTube, Instagram, and my website. So on Instagram, I can be found at Spiritual Trek. That's SPIRITUALTREK, Spiritual Trek. And my YouTube is Spiritech. It's SPIRITREK. Same from my website, spiritech.com. So it's all related in name and title. So, and I'm just trying to share as much as I can to just really help you reflect on your inner being, to help you have tangible ways of approaching life that are enriching to yourself and will allow you to not harm others as well, and to open your heart into others. Compassion, embodying that idea of unconditional love, which is very real, very true. Balance, being present, inner peace, these kind of things I focus on, because we have enough conspiracy, we have enough, fear mongering, we have enough money laundering in the spiritual community. So it's time to just, help us get back to ourselves.
Exactly, the balance, bro. And again on the love and sharing our uniqueness, our brother Gonzalo is the man with the hands. Sharing his energy as I'll let you tell him more about it. He even got a chance to massage another tribe member,
the lovely
Danielle, call her Danny Cosmos.
Hey, Danny.
And got to do that and express that. How was that? Traveling and doing your thing.
Yeah, that's it just opened me up even more, because it allowed me to really step into who I am, like that opportunity. For sure. There was just even a funny moment where like Sage was like, yo, after I came out the session, he's like, yo, you just stepped into a whole nother space, because that really it really allowed me to step up and engage with the reality. Like, how can I serve you is the question. How can I serve you? So something that's just been really big for me, even as a child, I used to just like I had my grandmother. She was like really overweight, like diabetes, like oxygen tank, and I had to see her go through these things. And I was just like, man, like what can I do? Like, what can I really do? Because the person's so deep in that deep in the suffering. It's like, man, you tell them, eat, like, drink a smoothie. They don't even want to do, like, they pretty much helpless at that point, and it's tough, especially when it's a family member and, and you're a child. So I used to massage her feet. I used to just go in there and just give her foot massages. She used 2 and 3 in the morning, just like yelling, like getting these cramps. And my room would be all the way in the opposite side of the house. And I used to hear her yelling. And I'm like, little kid in me is like, man, just, I don't want to, I don't want to do that. But I knew I just had this higher calling, like, yo, get up and go over there. So just massage the thigh out, massage the cramps out. And just like, Mom Dukes, like, she was just always prone to like swelling at the feet and things like that. So as I was younger, I used to just physically, because there's something I really love about just this touch, the realm I'm in is healing touch, because it's so necessary. Like, it's a proven fact that if a baby, after it has been given birth to, after it comes out of the womb, if it's not touched within a certain period of time, it will literally die.
Oh man,
like, that's a fact.
Wow.
So that tells you right there, and that was one of the main things for me. Like, yo, you have to engage with this reality, like, because I'm very like spiritually inclined, but it's definitely time to ground that. And so the way I'm doing that, you can find me on Instagram at primal.sun. That's SUN, primal.sun. And just a little bit about that is, this primal nature, it serves as the foundation of all existence. So, and something like that is you want to bring it back to the body, the senses, the touch, the taste, all that you enjoy. It actually comes through these channels. So, yeah, healing touch. Shout out to Danielle for trusting and allowing me to, move energies out of uncomfortable spaces. Because everything's connected. So even physically, you can really, what a knot is in the body. It's just an energy that just has gotten stuck at one point that it didn't have no longer the right conditions to flow. And so there's many ways to come at the body, but I do like a more gentle, natural approach where it's just, it's not overbearing.
It's respectful.
It's respectful. It's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's of a loving nature. It's I grew up in a house of women all my life. So I was very just exposed to feminine energy. Like I'm actually, and I'm also a lefty, so that connects me to the feminine side of my brain. I use that side more. And so there's just this gentle softness approach, and I think that's what a lot of the world needs.
Right.
There's been a lot of hard on get in there.
Right.
Get it done, which is a necessary component. But we're talking about balance. Right? We're talking about consistency in that sense. So as much as you're going head on first, you really want to do to take the time to relax and treat yourself. And like I said, we can do a lot ourselves, but I mean, why not have, because it runs so there's so many levels to it. It's like because there's such an intimacy there, and it's like, and we like as a whole, like we have we look at intimacy just in the bedroom, like as just having sex or just all that, kissing and the hugging and all that, and that's definitely it, but there's this is so intimate right now. It's just like we literally have opened ourselves to each other, where we can give and receive through one another. So that's very intimate because as you exist, when you now share space with other beings, it's not just you. And that's one of the main things. Is like, so it's not just me here. Right. So let me get beyond my own shit. Right. So we can really go places.
Down. Let's connect.
Right. Let me really go places.
Like you said with the trust. Like again, from my perspective, having the trust in you to do this for this is my love, my honey apple berry, my snuggle fruit.
That's powerful. So, and I could feel that, even when you she wasn't even present in the space and you already had asked me, how can you, what can you do? And that's like you said, that's your sugar honey apple, and there's a certain connection there. Like you just don't trust, the love of your life with anyone.
Right. Exactly.
And so, and that's something I had to see within myself. And that's what something me and Brother Sage were talking about. It's like, these opportunities don't just present themselves. Like it's almost like a test. Like, are you gonna do it? Are you gonna take it? Are you really gonna run with this?
Right.
Or not?
Right.
Like it's just sometimes it's so it's like I need you now. Like where are you? Are you there or not?
Right. You gonna show up?
And so that level of intimacy, because that's what I love about like body work and massage, or even just relationships, because that's like relationships are life. Life and relationships. So there's a giving and receiving always. And so even just grounding it back down to like body work and massage, like someone gives, someone receives, but that person is not open to receive is useless.
And you told me, you said something else when you was doing we've learned with like mastery. When you master something, it connects you to the source of all. Like so when you were saying how I consider you mastering of the touch of the body. So exactly that pivoted, or the node that led me to the relationships with each other. Like when you finish that relationship with yourself, you tap into it leads you to elsewhere. You go once you did that check mark on yourself. I need the consistency. Knock out consistency. Once consistency is learned, go on to my next lesson. Like when you were saying with the body, like if it's a knot here, that sometimes leads you, once that knot is clear, or the pain is coming from somewhere else, you might find it's coming from the shoulder. Okay, that shoulder is going to lead you to someplace else. And then you're going through the body. Like, tell us about those processes.
Yeah, so, there's, so the way we live our lives, like sometimes we're just not aware, not conscious. So in the body, there's actually a lot that can be stored there. It's a powerhouse. And so sometimes a lot of experiences that you might have not been okay with or didn't fully accept, instead of fully just, experiences are like food itself, or it's like life's food, it's soul food. So when you experience something, you take it into your being, and then just like food, it goes through the process. Your body extracts the nutrients it needs, and then releases what's not needed, and that comes out as waste. And so same thing with these experiences. Now, if we choose not to fully accept an experience because we want to judge it as good or bad, then that resonance will actually stay in the body. So something very common is the shoulders, the hips, the jaw is a big one for me. Like my jaw has been one of the biggest, obstacles I've had to deal with in this body. And also I know this very much because there's been much of my life where I've been uncomfortable in my body. And it's because you're literally not paying attention to it. Like it's crazy. So in the body, many things can be stored, and the whole body is a whole science. Like it's like a whole.
That's a spaceship.
I like to say like life is simple, but the body, there is a certain complexity to it. Like it does have many components, and so the body's always communicating. And if we're not aware of it, you'll just numb out that pain. And so now you have like pain in the shoulder, and then as I'm massaging out that shoulder, it then shoots, because there's a nervous system, so it then shoots a signal down to your wrist. And then your wrist is like all cramped up after that. And it's because now that what has left the shoulder, it automatically it will try to find somewhere else to go. And that's why it's a process, because it's moment to moment, it's part to part. It's so it just, there's a certain tuning into the energy and following that energy to fully experience it and then release it. So that's kind of what I do as like when I do body work and massages, as one that holds space in that sense. I will guide that energy out of your body, and allow it to just especially if it's an energy that most of the time it's not an energy that's serving you, it's actually weighing you down and putting you more dense into your body, holding space for that release and allowing it to go where it needs to. This is the thing. It's not like, okay, let me drill this shoulder until it's fucking numb. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my French. It's like, okay, the shoulder's clear now. Then, okay, now this is clear. It's a full, it's a holistic, it's like when you're getting into the body, like it's physically a knot, but it's also, it's energetic knot. It's emotional. So it's opening up the perception. I might need some water soon, but it's like it's opening up the perception to work on multiple levels in the know. In that one moment, you're working on multiple levels of existence, emotionally, physically. So it's not just the body; it starts at the body, and this is why primal, like the foundation, is the body. We all got one. We only got one.
A question.
Yeah, for sure.
I have because I'm working on engaging the community, connecting. So we have, like for example, when we first heard Savon, like I've known about 5 years now, right? It's like this is just a whole new world that he dropped on me. That is a whole reality that he was that exists, and like I might catch every 14th word. He was saying, I know that. Okay, I got
words
that.
Just flying over you.
He said, what? Of the fractals of the okay. And then just started writing stuff down and slowly digesting the stuff over the years as we've grown. But having something right there. One of the pivotal things that connected me to his message, with the stuff he was sharing, was how can I relate to myself? Because I really connected. He said he's from Detroit. I was like, oh shit, Detroit, okay. Oh, well, he's Detroit. He'd been through, and then he listened to some of the experiences as a kid. So he told a little bit more about himself. Now I can see my resonance with him from different aspects. So I want to drop some jewels about stuff that we've experienced personally, be it in high school, college. So people can see like we just regular people. That's what we're like. We're just regular people. We go through the same thing. We're not these, holier than thou. This distant people. We are them. We are you. Who's watching? We are you. We're the same. So going through multiple things. So anybody drop some jewels on the previous experiences that you've overcome. How people used to look at you and who you were then and who you are now. Like, what conversations would you have with yourself now?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. I'm talking, so I'll keep talking. So, this is a quick overview of how I've experienced or how I've seen myself in this journey. definitely a lone wolf when it comes to the spiritual journey. Until more recent times, of course.
Yeah.
A lot of my process has been by myself, whether it be growing up as a kid, you know, or in college during my spiritual awakening. It's by myself. I had no one to talk to about it. So it was in my dorm room, just doing my stuff, and I would go out party the next night.
Right.
Turn up. It was a very interesting time. So that was the baseline. I realized from an early age, I was meant to be in all spaces, but I wasn't meant to really fit in to those spaces because they weren't for me to be in. I was meant to create new spaces, which is what's happening right now in this moment. So, you know, an outcast who kind of always was able to kind of just adjust myself to be around people and to be in different environments that felt off. But I learned the part. I played the part very well. Especially in college, like I said, during my spiritual awakening process. I wasn't shocked into it. It was more so like a frustration with what I was given, with like Christianity and with the fear of it all, and conviction. I was just tired. And I was judging myself so much because of that. So, when I let that go, I entered my spiritual process, and a lot of it was interesting because, like I said, I was one foot in, one foot out. You know, I would be in my room working on my inner peace, working on happiness, stress release. You know, this. I approach it from a non-spiritual lifestyle perspective. I approach it from, what do I need? I want to be happier. Okay, how do I be happier? Okay, perspective. Boom. You know, how do I find more peace? Let go. Don't attach to everything. Don't let things influence and impact me so heavily. You know, now that's how I had my spiritual process go. And then I found people like Alan Watts, Krishnamurti, Sadhguru, Osho, the list goes on, Sevan, so many more that really allowed me to dive deeper into the knowledge of it all. It wasn't even until after I graduated, maybe a couple of years ago, where I started looking into things like crystals and energy healing and chakras. I think that came later for me. But while I was going through that process, I was, like I said, turned up. I was in the frat. I was doing my thing, quote unquote, sinning.
From that perspective.
Exactly, but it's all perspective, right? Like you said. And the growth that came from those years was so valuable. But one thing I want to say, this on my journey, was the idea of those who feel like they're alone, or introverted, or can't express themselves, if they're not being heard. It all comes to you when you're ready. You're not alone, because there are people all around the world who are experiencing what you're experiencing right now, who are connected to you in many ways. And I see you, I feel you. I would tell my younger self right now, this is the way to wait, because you're going to see that it's going to be bigger than you could even imagine. You know, and even right now, what's coming is like I can't even fathom. It's amazing. It's really incredible. So just be there for yourself, forgive yourself for those things that you feel that you might have harmed yourself with. Forgive others in your life that you feel are harming you, because really you can resolve everything within yourself right now if you choose to enter from a heart space, a compassion space, a forgiveness space, and the love will heal all things. Literally, it's not a cliche. It's real.
My bro, I say, brother, holiness.
Yeah. What was? I guess.
So
what was the question?
So when you, if you can send a message to talk to yourself 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever point that you would choose, what would you say to you? You know, in those times that you felt all by yourself.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna add one more piece of what I would say to myself, because it's really important. It's probably the most important thing.
Right, you're time traveling right now.
And it still exactly, really. And it still keeps coming to me. That's how I know I need to say it now, because I still keep getting that reflection. And I said it earlier, trust yourself. Trust yourself. Because as a little kid, I knew I had a lot within me. And people keep saying, like, you know, I would get prophets coming to me from the church. People saying, hey, like, this young man's going to be really successful one day. He's going to do X, Y, and Z, or something about him. And I'm like, okay, that's nice. I would take that, you know, but like, I would always doubt still. I would be afraid to express myself. I would be afraid to move. Even now, even with Brother Shimmy, he was saying, like, the yoga, like, you know, I have the gift. I have the ability to do it. A lot of things, I just have to trust the movement and move with that confidence. And even to this day, that's one thing that I keep telling myself, be confident in my beingness. Yeah.
As a kid, the same thing. It's just like, elders, and he's great. Such a great, phenomenal kid. He's gonna be this, that, and the third. Oh, that's awesome. And it wasn't until older, when it's another elder, I forgot the sister who exactly it was, but I just remember her words. I used to walk with like a slouch
Oh.
with my head. Cause my girl had a grandma's house. She had like, the house was about 5'8" maybe. That's the roof. So we always had, as I got tall, as a teenager, I always had my head down and like walk like this most of the time. And my granddad did some similar things. So I got outside and I was walking. I think it was at church. I was walking around or leaving someplace else. And she was like, son, you're handsome. Put your head up. Put your shoulders back. Yeah. Walk. You're confident. You're beautiful. And I was like, I didn't know I was doing that. And I started doing it. She was like, walk. And she's like, yeah, there you go. And I was like, I felt it was so amazing. I guess the spine is aligned, my head is up. And I didn't realize until like college when I was taking a vocal methods class that I had my head up too high. It's like, my head is down, it's balanced. No, put your head down. I was like, it's down. So I had to like go back and readjust, but I got so much of a boost of confidence from the elder that told me that
young Leo shining.
Right, shining. Like, so like, what would you tell yourself, my brother? Like,
yeah, something very simple. I was just telling myself, hey man, be patient. And patience, it's like we touched on, it really is all perception. Like you tell somebody to be patient, like you tell somebody, hey, relax, they'll just start wilding on you. Right. Look at me trying to relax, like so there's even to that as a certain art. Like I just think when I mean patience, it's like the birth of a child. Like the way, like, see, the woman's not rushing that process, but she knows it's coming. Like she knows, like, so there's a certain like patience there, that knowing, I just remember when I first started yoga a few years ago. I had a best friend. She went away from college. She went away to college. She came back and she's like, hey, I think you might like this. And start stretching, back pain start going away. And there's just a saying, they just like, all this coming. That's just like a very familiar mantra in that kind of yoga space. All is coming, and I always resisted it too, because it's like I know like all is actually like here right now, but it just goes deeper than that, and like all is coming, meaning that there is like a natural order to existence, and we see that in nature, and and we see that in the woman when she's giving birth. So knowing that, man, like, when you like, even just in that, like when you're creating a life, how can you even rush that? Like, like you said, like greatness can't be rushed. You can't. So that's what I mean by patience. Not like sit there, because we're used, like, in the way we've been brought up, the way I've been brought up, it's like when you get yelled at, they're like, hey, just like shut up, sit there, and so you take like patience, like just sit there and do nothing. But it's just more like a steady consistency with the patience, like it's like
the trust, trust the process.
So yeah, man, like that patience, like knowing that, that's one of the main things, like from projection to manifestation. There's a certain just patience, knowing that you're already en route. So like that's not, I tell myself like, yo, you're on the way, man. Like you're on the way. Because so one thing, okay, so one experience I'll share was, I was recently, a few months ago, I was in Sedona, Arizona. So it's a powerful place.
Yeah.
Like, with the red rocks, like it's actually Mars. Like, it's literally Mars. Like we think of Mars, like, I mean, it might be, but that's not my, like, I was on Mars, like the red rocks, like all those things were probably shot there on some real shit. But, so I got in this trip. It was a journey to Sedona. I was connected to some other beautiful beings. Evelyn Guerra, a beautiful, powerful woman in New York. And she gave me the opportunity where I didn't have the full funds to go on the trip. She's like, yo, let's work something out. Let's do a work exchange. So I'm like, last minute, I'm like, I'm not going. She's like, yo, let's do this. Okay, so I ended up going, right? So it was interesting because I kind of left, not on the wrong foot, but not necessarily like with grounded intentions, because I was kind of in between of like, my mind's like, you didn't even really pay for this trip. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else here paid, blah, 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 all these things. So when I'm in my mind, in certain experiences, we're at the vortex, we're on a hike, we're all together, everybody's fully there. My mind's like, yeah, but you still didn't really pay for this, you know? And so now in my mind, I'm not there with everybody, right? And so there were certain scattered moments in the journey that happened, that I encountered that. And so fast forward at the end of the journey, I'm coming back, I'm on the plane, and I'm actually with Brother Mark at this point. We actually went together. And now I'm like in a reflective state. So I'm reflecting on the journey, but I'm looking through the journey, right, in my consciousness, and I see some major like gap holes, and I'm like, man, what is this, right? So now I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, man, what is this? It's like, yo, you weren't there, bro.
You weren't there.
Like, where were you? You weren't there. And so then it's like, well, you see these moments, you know, like literally, it's like, so people will reach the end of their life, right? And you know, the light flashes before their eyes, you know, and it really happens that fast. Like these moments are literally just, they're going by. You can't stop them. What you can do is be there for them. And so it was like, yo, it hit my heart, bro. It made me like, I wanted to cry because it was like, yo, you see, man, like you just missed it. You weren't there, bro. So tying that back into, you know, even just patience, it's the ability to be there, not trying to be somewhere else. Because as the process is unraveling, you know, you might get caught up so much in the future that you just, you know, you're trying to be there. But it's like, but yo, your woman, like your children, they're right here with you. So it's like a certain patience. I know I'm going there, but I'm also I'm right here too. I'm not trying to go anywhere else. I know I will get there, but I'm not fully focused on that because there's so much happening in front of me. That was just the main lesson. Like, yo, just be here. Just, that's it. Like, because if not, you know, you'll look back in your life and you'll have those same big gaps. Like, shit, where was I? You was in your mind. You was in your headspace. You was in the past.
Bro.
And
you speaking, bro. You speaking.
That's real.
Speaking.
Bro, it was so, man, that thing just broke my heart, man. I'm like, yo, I'll never get this opportunity again. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You're like, yo, you will actually never get this opportunity again,
these
bro.
People, these moments.
And you done chose not to be there, you fool. Straight up. It was like, you fool. You better take this lesson and integrate it now. And since then, bro, it's like, I can't be nowhere else. It's like, one of the, like, something that just really resonated with me is like, yo, the goal is in the future. I am here.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, that's this, man, last one, boom, third thing I would tell myself, the goal is in the future. I am here. This moment will always take you to the next. So just whatever it is, even if it's, you know, happy, sad, whatever, it's teaching you patience because it's teaching you to be with the moment. So, you know, stay with the moment for sure. Just giving thanks.
Imagine, like, right now, like you sending that back to yourself, like a T-shirt with that said. It's like with a beautiful girl with a T-shirt that says that. Like I would look at that in college.
Just be here.
Just be here.
Right on the chest.
Just be here.
Be like, oh, I'm here. Like, I'm here with you, girl.
Like, right. Send an email, put it in a tattoo, put it in a song that somebody ride by in the car bumping, like with a message that we just said what we told ourselves. So imagine that getting back to you somehow, some way. Imagine that in that moment. Because that really hit hard, especially in the moment. How do you tell somebody to be in the now? And, you know, how do you... I know meditation definitely helps with that, clearing the mind, clearing the monkey mind from just flying off, you know, because I've had memories and I'm like, damn, so like a blank, I don't remember what happened exactly because I wasn't there. I was thinking about in the future, you know, if I did the whole thing. So just be in the now. How do you be in the now? How do you silence?
Real quick, I mean, I'll keep it simple with this. Like I think Savon said this many times. Just to do, to move, to do something. Like they said, when you're in the mind, you're not oftentimes you're not doing anything. You're just sitting there, traveling to all these spaces that are, you know. Hopefully one day you'll get there, but maybe is that even for you?
Right,
exactly. So like you said, let's see. Oh, pyramid. Let's see what this is. You know,
right.
engage with your reality. Engage with like the kids. Like Shimmy and Jif's daughter.
Yeah,
you know, she's all over the place, looking at everything. Yeah. You know, boom. Oh, look at this. Oh, fool.
Right.
She's engaging with this so well that there's no need to be anywhere else because she's so curious.
Yeah, and that's the delight of a child. So yeah, never lose that child light. I think, like I said, exploring, being curious, trying stuff out on your adventures right now. You're on an adventure.
Yes.
On an adventure.
Yeah.
And that's something you said too just the other night. You're like, I want to be just like that, maybe with a little more, what'd you say?
Wisdom.
Like, a little more, like a little more discipline or something. You said like that. Just running around free. And then it was just funny because you would see Shimmy, he'd be like, all right, like, come here. Take a moment. Just like ground that, like kind of discipline that because it is necessary.
Right.
It's like the playfulness and the freedom and all that, it consistency is a balance. So, there are times where you do have to just like, okay, let me chill for a moment. Like what just happened, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting dynamic for sure.
I know definitely. I hit like it's a reset thing. My mind starts like go, like close my eyes. Take a breath.
Yeah, that's good.
Reset. Okay, I'm here now. Be back in a moment.
One breath, man.
One breath. You said something about that. Somebody said something.
One tribe, one heart, one breath.
Exactly.
That's the completion,
One
right?
tribe, one heart, one breath. That's right. That's it.
Wow.
Powerful, man.
Yeah, I think the breathing is the most direct path to that. Just really taking that deep breath. And the sound would be the second.
Yeah.
Because I remember we were having like we were stretching, doing a little yoga thing, and when you get in a stretch, you sometimes it's really tight, and they tell you to breathe, and you're having a hard time breathing. Okay, so just make a sound, like even when you exhale, because sound is vibration, so it'll with your intention, it'll reach that tension in your body, and that sound will just shake it up.
And even like when you make a sound, it makes me remember to breathe. Okay, relax. Okay, like when it's happening, it's definitely a huge component.
Yeah. So breath and sound is just vital.
So we're gonna start wrapping up the podcast, man. We got more coming. This ain't the only one.
At 111, let's wrap it up.
Hey, of course. Always, man. Stay in the balance, wholeness and balance.
Where can they find you at?
Oh yeah, man.
Please,
you can find me at Curtis.Heru on Instagram. The website is being built now. It should be out very soon. OneTribe.io. Right now, when you type in OneTribe.io, it'll take you straight to our Spiritech page. We have over 153 amazing products for the body to get you advanced to the next level. Exactly. You can also find our clothing line, One Tribe. You can check us out. We're gonna have some beautiful photo shoot that came out by the brothers here, man. Honored me with some amazing shots of the clothing and fabrics that we have. So that'll probably be popping up right now. Let's drop the pictures right there.
Yes. What if we wrap up with like a little whistle song or something?
Hey, okay.
And that's just like a little.
How you wanna do it?
But y'all can join me for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Come in.
And there. Thank you to both of you.
Oh yeah, brother.
Thank you for those, my brother. Yeah, my bro.
Power.
Wholeness and balance, vibrations. Let's say that together, man.
Yeah. Oh, wait, let's take a breath. Alright, inhale. Wholeness and balance vibrations.
Oh yeah. Stay. Top speed.
Top speed.
Wholeness.